If you don't know, Zasha is in the back of there. She is my very first business partner. We did several deals together, but she helped me also build my portfolio so that I can show proof that I've done deals. But she is a person who helped me. So put your hands together for Zasha, Maui's own Zasha Smith. She is a mom, she's an entrepreneur, she was an engineer for 10 years, and she said, screw it, I'm gonna go make my own money in my own hours. And she's definitely been a huge help in my journey. So thank you for being here, Zasha.
Aloha, everybody. How are we feeling? Can we all stand up? Just take a stand. Shake it out. Stretch. A lot of different things. I'm telling you. Okay, you guys can sit down. For those who don't know me, my name is Zasha Smith, aka Invest with Zasha on all social media platforms with a Z, so write that down, will follow me. Like Tereva had mentioned before, I was in a lot of your shoes for those who are working full time and feeling like there's something more out there to your life. I guess for those in the crowd right now who haven't got started or just need that extra motivation, what are your biggest, challenges with real estate right now for those who are just getting started? Raise your hand. What's your biggest challenges to getting your first deal? Finding the property, okay.
That's more.
Especially locally in Hawaii. Okay, anybody else? What's your biggest challenge to getting started, getting your first deal? Genesis?
I guess it's just I'm a real estate agent, so I run a real estate team. I guess just making time. Getting in the investment side. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're not getting started fuzzy. Okay, go. Your biggest challenge. Finding money. Okay. What if I told you guys those could all be solved very easily? Because when you put yourself out there, you're in crowds like this, everybody has a purpose, everybody has a strength, and sometimes those puzzle pieces come together. I just got back from Vegas at WealthCon. There was over 1,500 people there. Some people were there. Was on a panel and just kind of shared my story. Brandon Turner was there, and a few people might know him. He lives on Maui. But I was in your shoes not too long ago in 2019. I grew up here on Maui, struggling, raised by a single mom. My dad was in and out of jail. Grew up with very little money and very little hope, but my mom always made sure that we felt loved. And I think that in itself is a huge accomplishment, because I realize now that not a lot of people even grow up with that. So I consider myself very blessed. I went to Maui High School. A shout out to Mr. Gima, for those who don't know him. He recently passed away from a brain aneurysm, so I want to really put him on a pedestal, because he was the reason why I ended up going to college, why I changed my life. I was partying in high school, had no direction, and was just thought that the world was against me from the start, and blamed everybody but myself for where I was at. And he picked me up and he was like, there's financial aid, there's scholarships, you can apply for these things and it'll give you a full ride to college. And so he got me on my way. I went to Cal State Long Beach. I had my first daughter, Tiana Leho, in the back. She just turned 17. At the young age of 20, well, maybe not in Hawaii, that's not young, but I realized that in the mainland, that's very young. And I lived out there and I made sacrifices, and she gave me a reason to finish college and persevere. I remember riding my bike. I had a beach cruiser with a baby seat in the back, riding with her to drop her off at daycare before I went to class. And at that time I was a single mom. And I just remember being like, okay, this just one foot in front of the other, right? One day at a time. And a lot of people here probably feel like that. And even when it comes to you guys, paying your bills, getting a hold of your income and expenses, like, when is this ever gonna balance out? When am I ever gonna get ahead? And so it's just pushing through those periods in your life where you feel like, okay, why hasn't anything happened yet for me? I'm trying so hard, but the world is against me. So keeping in mind that there's so much more ahead. Fast forward to graduating from college, moved back to Maui, was an engineer for 10 years, making $60,000 a year, in charge of $1 million projects of new subdivisions, shopping centers, hotel renovations, just working my okole off. I was gonna say the other word, but feeling like tired every single day, just working, taking care of the kids, sleeping, and getting up and doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it wasn't until my husband, right there in the back too, shout out to Woody's Plumbing Services, his company. He had started his own company from the ground up, I remember, with his 2002 Toyota with the racks in the back, like 2-door passenger, and he was like, man, I'm gonna start my own business. He gave me a lot of the courage that I have today to pursue this new endeavor. But when I was coming home, he said a quote to me, and it stuck with me for a long time, and it was, they're getting the best of you, and we're getting the rest of you. And that really hit home to my heart, because my whole thing is like, I wanted to succeed in life, have this great career. They were always telling me the American dream, how can I make it in life? Go to college, get a good degree, and we'll be set, we won't have to worry. But here I was, every weekend just tired and trying to figure out, what I could do in order to get my family in a better position. I was an engineer. He works as a plumber. Like, why are we not where we want to be in life? Why do we feel so strapped? I lived in low-income housing. How come I feel the same way that I did when I was young? And so from there, I started Googling, like any millennial does, how to quit my job and get rich, and ended up finding a lot of these people own real estate. And I was like, how the heck? It was so hard for us to qualify just to get our own home. And initially, we're looking in Maui Lani area. My husband's like, yeah, these are nice houses. And we pull up to a fixer-upper for like 400 grand. He's like, ooh, I don't know about this. You sure, babe? I'm like, yeah. Well, we already put in an offer. He didn't know, but we're doing it. So, so from there, we fast forward to now. We have 17 rentals on our own, done over 21 flips completed, have a midterm rental, short-term rental, small multifamily. I just got into bigger multifamily, so over $100 million assets under management, part equity owner of over 500 units in Texas and Florida, and just recently started a fund that was featured on Bigger Pockets, show 668 if you want to go look it up. Just little plugs here and there. But the main thing that got me to where I'm at and was able to scale, that was in 2019, I did my first deal. And it was here on Maui, in Kihei, Keonekai Villages, netted $103,000 without even really knowing what I was doing, just taking action. And I think a lot of people get stuck in analysis paralysis. What if I'm gonna lose money? I don't know if the numbers are gonna work. It's just like, take action. And if that means, you coming to this event was, an investment in yourself, it costs money. Enrolling in a course, getting a mentor. If you wanna scale quickly, a lot of times the knowledge and the network will take you there. And so sometimes it's paid, sometimes it's not, but you could meet somebody in this room at WealthCon, 1,500 people. I met a guy there who had $10 million to deploy, who was in tech. And he was like, I don't know about this real estate thing, but I seen you on stage and I really like what you're doing, so let's connect. I was like, boom, for those who paid $1,000 to be there, that was totally worth that one connection. And here in this room, there's people like that. Well, I don't know if they have $10 million. There is people in here that could change your life. So make sure you go and network with them. You introduce yourself. And even if you're a newbie, I know I was an engineer, stuck in a cubicle. That was my safe space. Still to this day, I don't enjoy it, but I know that I have to do it to put myself out there. I've got some deals raised, over $7 million over the past few years in private money. So from everyday people like you guys, because I'm good at finding deals and, raising the money. So that's been my strength and what I'm able to add to other people, add value to them, and be the connector. So I think one key takeaway is that everybody has something that they can leverage. Think about what you're good at right now. Okay, maybe you don't have time, but you have money. How can you leverage that to get into a deal? Maybe you have money, maybe you have time but not money. How can you add value to another experienced investor? I have a few people in here who are like, oh my gosh, I'll drive around this neighborhood, I'll get you addresses, I'll make the calls, I'll do the text. Me and Tadeva in 2020, when the world shut down, we're in her living room, just pulling lists, doing cold calls, like figuring it out. And that's what you need, just somebody that's driven next to you, but also figuring out how you can add value. It doesn't always have to be money. And then also relationships and partnerships and connections, right? I think a lot of the times I've gotten to where I'm at, or I connected with somebody because they were just adding value and they wanted to be around me, or I wanted to be around them. So I was like, hey, how can I get around them? What can I do for them? And even for me now, I've grown my social media platform to 114,000 people organically. And it's crazy to think that, that many people want to follow me, for one, but two, that is something that I can leverage to add value to other people who may have the money or may have a deal, and then we can share across platforms and figure it out. So I think that's the biggest thing that I'll leave with you guys today that you can start doing, but also think about your why. Like, why are you doing this? I think I've gotten to a point now where we're financially free, we're doing, I love real estate. I'll eat, breathe, and sleep. My husband knows. He's like, hey, babe, shut it off. But figure out your why. And what keeps me passionate about this too is that most of my rentals that I own myself are rented to Section 8 or people on HUD or that have a rental voucher. And because that's where I came from, that's what situation my mom is in, I always believe in it coming full circle and giving back that way. I could be, renting to somebody who I'm getting more money, but it's not always about that, especially in this community in real estate investing. You can make an impact while building wealth for yourself as well, and you don't have to feel guilty about it too. I think that's all. Thank you.
All right, so one thing that she didn't share today, but Zasha does like 5 million things within real estate, and she started simple, one rental or buying her own and then buying another house. But today, can you share, I think in the last 6 months you've done a lot, but several deals that range from just different asset classes within real estate. Can you share with us maybe kind of what your portfolio looks like today? It's a lot.
Okay, so just this year, in February, I bought and partnered on with 2 other partners, but I'm majority equity owner in a 45 pad RV site with a glamping tent, and it's gonna have rentals, and that's pretty cool, with a lady I met in another mentorship, and then also partnered on a 15-unit office building in Kansas City where Tadeva also invests, with another partner from Oahu that I met through a mentorship. So I think the key with everything, especially because I'm scaling through partnerships, for me, I didn't want to build out a big company or have these like systems and processes. Like I do have ones for myself, but I wanted to be able to just like break free if I wanted to, or have a lot more equity in deals and just do quality over quantity. So that's been my focus. So there's different ways that you can get into investing, but that has been my focus, and it's starting to fund. We are now raising, I'm transitioning to more passive income, because I don't know if you guys have ever done a flip project. Genesis, you've seen that one of mine. He's like, holy shit. Yeah, so it's a lot of work. But, yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit, and syndications?
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about syndications?
Okay. So I am a co-GP, a general partner in 4 different syndication deals. So that consists of multifamily, 100, 200 unit apartment buildings. We help raise the capital for those projects, and that's how we negotiate like an equity split or higher, I guess, ownership in those types of deals. And the guy I met through Instagram, he told me that he was going to start investing in these bigger deals, and then his wife is from Maui as well, connected with them at our office down here, and just jumped on board. So,
yeah. So many things I like about Zasha is she's really good at leveraging her reach, of course through social media, but also all the events she goes to. She's a power networker and connector. All of the groups or mentorships she is a part of or she's a leader of, she just ends up connecting people or doing deals with them. So again, the power of your community, the power of networking, the possibilities are endless. And we have passive income opportunities, we have active income opportunities. It really depends on what you can bring into a deal, and you can make money. It's either you make nothing or you get into a deal with someone else and start making money, right? So never, again, don't stop right here in the box. We are all proof that you can do a lot within real estate. So again, thank you, Zasha. Please give her a round of applause.